How are you guys doing? This is a Thursday. You got one more day until tomorrow. Nicole's leaving tomorrow for...
We have one more day.
We have one more day until tomorrow.
That's on a motivational poster.
One more day until tomorrow. I don't know if anyone's heard of this. I'm probably the only one that's ever covered it.
Brandon posted to the Discord. He's like, hold on, let me put this kid to sleep.
Oh, yeah. We'll wait on him.
Let's see. We've got Shram, Lauren, Desiree, Natasha, Wolfie, Martin, Faith. What up?
Just our normals, which is fine,
Brandon's
man.
on the way.
That's why I kind of want to... We should just close off the membership and just
close it now.
Close it now. If we ever get super famous, I'm talking about like My Favorite Murder famous, and if they did this, they would have
100%.
Hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, all right, guys, think about it. If we ever get famous and we have hundreds and thousands of people watching, and you guys are the only ones that can comment, how fucking awesome would that be? People will be clawing. That would be cool, man. Oh yeah, we shut that off, years ago or whatever.
I know. It would, yeah. The first 100, cool, you know what I mean?
You'd have people probably offering big money to be in.
That would be cool.
Oh, and then we can all get paid.
It'd
be called the tribunal. Like if someone,
or it's like it's a Ponzi scheme. Like the new members pay for the original members.
Yeah, I like that. But like if a new member comes in and is like, all right, I'll pay $5,000 this year to be able to comment. We could split.
Oh my God.
We could split that with everyone. That would be cool, man.
That would be really cool. We would totally. Cool. We would definitely.
That would be sick, dude.
That would be really cool.
Because if a big show like Crime Junkie or whatever with all that audience, like if they did a live stream, they would get 50,000 or more people watching. And if you only had 5 or 6 people being able to comment. Tonight I got a crazy story. I want you guys to tell me what you think of this one, man. So can you tell me what a bog is?
Hey, Brandon. Oh my God, are we seriously doing the bog story?
I just asked if you could tell us what a bog is. I didn't say we're doing this or that, other.
Did you say you're asking me?
Yeah. Can you tell us what a bog is?
It's kind of like a swamp, isn't it? Like a
all right, just
mossy.
Just look it up for next episode.
Wolfie says the name of the organization is Talk Pyramid Scheme to me. Yes.
Here's where we're going to tonight. Enfield. How many people you think live here?
In Enfield?
Mm-hmm.
Just as many as in the outfield.
No, but look at the map. You see, it's a small town, about 500 people.
Oh, now that you moved where the TV is, I have to watch it on the stream.
Yeah, I'm going to fix that eventually. So I couldn't find this guy's exact address, but I'm pretty sure it's this one right here. The family that we're talking about tonight lived in the, quote, extreme northern region of this town. And this is the most north you can get right here.
There's the line.
Yeah, with the line. So I'm guessing this was the residence, and it does sort of look like the house, which I'll show you later. So I'm guessing we're going right here.
Or somewhere's around there. So this is very rural.
Oh, yeah, very rural. The town's only got 500 people. What do they grow in Illinois? Illinois. Is it Illinois or Illinois?
Corn? I don't know.
Yeah, I think these are corn stalks. This reminds me of one of those Jeepers Creepers movies where they're going in the corn stalks,
Yeah. I don't know if I watched that one.
I mean, dude, I would love to have all this land.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I mean, imagine having all this shit.
That would be awesome.
So anyway, this is where we're going to tonight. This is the guy's property up here.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, let's see if it's the same house. Long, lonely road. Has anyone heard of this story? You probably would be able to tell just by the name of the town.
Enfield, you said?
Yeah, Enfield. Enfield. Enfield.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Well, I was thinking it was like infield, like a baseball, like the infield or the outfield. That's why I made that joke.
Man, it'd be so cool to live up here, I mean, no one's going to bother you.
But not really.
No, it wouldn't. It would be terrible. That'd be like worse than living in like Easley.
That, but like in our location,
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm just saying that because my parents live in Easley. I don't know anyone else that lives there.
Brandon's here. Present. And he's like, what?
Anyway, tonight we're going to April 25th, 1973. We're going to Enfield, Illinois. Enfield is what?
When you asked what grows out there, Wolfie said meth.
I'm sure a lot of meth gets grown out there because you can't get real drugs out there.
and I would say, and Brandon said, Enfield, Illinois. Martin said, I haven't heard it because no one's covered it until now.
I wonder how many episodes that I've said that and I've been completely wrong. That shows you that I at least do my own research. I can at least claim that.
Yes.
Anyway, tonight we're going to Enfield.
Brandon says all of them.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. The one that we covered last time, I don't know, maybe. April 25th, 1973. We're going to Enfield, Illinois, known as the Devil's Kitchen.
What a fucking name.
I know.
Why would it be called that?
Well, ironically, as you'll see, the name fits, but it's called that because the Native American population hundreds of years ago would see these things called skinwalkers and around this area. Also, I'm doing an episode coming up about the mysterious hum. If you out there have heard this hum before, let me know because I want to interview someone that has heard it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't heard it. I'm also doing a story. Have you seen this man? If you've seen this man, let me know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't seen this man.
Well, do we get a picture of the man?
No.
Okay.
If you've seen this man, you know what I'm talking about. And you could go back in the request and look and see. I think you can search in the Discord. Just type in this man and then type in hum for a different story. Those are two stories that I would like to have firsthand accounts on people that have witnessed either one of those.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get on with it. Known as the Devil's Kitchen. And this is from the Native Americans who tried to explain to the newcomers all the strange sights and sounds that are around this area. We're talking about a Henry McDaniel tonight. This is him right here. Now, this is in 1957, so picture's a little grainy, but this is from one of the newspapers. This is a 50-year-old man, war veteran, family man, a no bullshit type of guy, military bred. His family consists of 2 children, 2 kids, about 10 to 15. He's a widower. He's a single father raising these kids. And he, by trade now, is an antique dealer. He was a military man, extremely smart. He's traveled all over the world. He's a gruff, kind of no-nonsense person. Neighbors respect him. The town respects him. They also know not to mess with him, because he's a kind of a grunt. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that's him right there. So if you're on the live stream, I don't know, kind of balding. It's really hard to tell on this photo what he looks like because it's so old. But he's walking out of his homestead. Anyway, we're going to April 25th, 1973. This was a Wednesday night. He just got home. His kids are of the age now where they can stay home by themselves, and he's okay with that. Mm-hmm. Even though the kids are a little scared, and I couldn't get the exact age, but the age where you let your kids stay home. 10 to 12 years old, 2 of them, 2 boys. They were a little scared. They have been hearing these, quote, strange sights and sounds that originate in Hell's Kitchen. Henry McDaniel, he leaves one night. It's a Wednesday night. He comes home from an antiquing meeting. He comes home to 2 scared kids, 2 scared boys. They were hearing noises outside. He actually walks into his house knowing something's wrong. The air conditioner, which is this air conditioner right here, is out of place a little bit. It's crooked. And he is a military man, so he expects his house to be dressed at all times. And this air conditioner is obviously out of place. It has been messed with. So this was about 9 o'clock at night. He walks in the door and the kids are freaking out. They said, "Dad, thank God you're home. Something or someone has been messing with the air conditioner. It's been shaking and there's been scratching at the door." And Henry McDaniel says, "What? When was this?" He's worried now because they've all heard noises. This is the Devil's Kitchen. They've all heard noises, but this is the first time he's left the sons alone. His sons are pretty good, respectable children. They're not going to mess up something because this family doesn't have a lot of money to begin with. And if the air conditioner goes out, then they're literally all going to sweat. They don't want that. They're definitely not going to mess with that air conditioner. He's also a little kind of comical about it. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. I mean, what could it be? A squirrel, raccoon, anything, an owl. Listen, kids, I served in the Army for a long time. I've been all over the world, traveled to different bases, and I was sort of a grunt. So y'all need to man up. It ain't nothing that a 12 gauge shotgun can't take care of. All right. Anyway, he goes about his business. He goes in the kitchen, and then he himself hears a scratching at the door. Dad! Hold on, Johnny. I hear it. Probably nothing but a damn coon out there. He opens up this door thinking it was a possum. Now, this has happened before. The front screen on his door has gotten scratched up before, and he hates that because those mesh screens are kind of hard to come by, and you have to, I don't know if you've ever had a door with one of those old mesh screens, the ones that don't come in a real size, and you have to cut them to size. He didn't want to go through that again because some raccoon, some possum, or some rat is tearing through his damn screen. He opens the door expecting to see some kind of possum there, and instead he sees something that he's never seen before. Now, as I said, this man has traveled all over the world. He's been to Southeast Asia. He's been to Australia, living there on bases. He's been all over the world minus Antarctica, and he has never seen whatever the hell this is standing on his doorstep. Now, I think it's better if we describe what it is from his words before I show you a picture, an artist's rendition.
Ooh, did you use the AI?
I tried to a few times. The AI with the image is effing terrible. It is terrible. Literally is fucking terrible. Can you read the description of what Henry McDaniel tells the police? Now, I want to say his sons are shaking in their boots, and he himself is visibly shaken. A veteran, an Army veteran, a gruff, no-nonsense soldier is physically shaking from what he sees right there on his doorstep.
It had 3 legs on it, he said, a short body, 2 little short arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 to 5 feet tall and was grayish colored.
Short body,
was gray.
Short body, 2 short arms, 3 legs, almost look like a human body, but these huge, big old bug eyes that when light hit them, they turn pink. Now, this will come in later, but a few days before this incident, a few school children had been talking about something that they seen in the park. Weird looking something, creature or escaped animal from the zoo that they've never seen. So keep that in mind. This monster was, quote, trying to get into the house. This is what happened to Henry McDaniel's screen. The one that he was like, damn it, this is hard to replace. Tell me, is this some kind of raccoon or possum that could do this? Look at that big old hole. So what do you think of this, Naquiz? I mean, there's 2 holes in it. There's 2 holes in the screen. They're not claw marks, and they're not ripped horizontally. You're seeing the mesh screen right here, and it looks like someone had put their claws ripped a little bit in the upper area, and then you see this guy's profile standing right by it. So I'm thinking maybe 5 feet tall is where the second hole starts, and it's huge.
Yeah.
So what do you think that is that did that? Something did that. That was not like that before he got home. This is his front door. He walked in, and then this happened. So what now?
What now? Well, it's hard to say. Like, I don't see necessarily like slash marks. It is a hole in the screen, right? But I don't know. Like, the placement is kind of strange, right?
He says that whatever this was is trying to get into the house. This is one of the photos from a newspaper here. This is from the Times, 26th of April, 1973. And we can see exactly what this man did. Illinois man wounds monster on doorstep. This reminds me a lot of H.P. Lovecraft has a story called The Thing on the Doorstep. Reminds me a lot of that. So this is from the Times, 26th of April, 1973. Henry McDaniel says he shot and wounded a monster on his doorstep and is worried it may come back to get even. McDaniel, 50, said he had just returned from a meeting Wednesday night when he heard something on the door. It had 3 legs on it, a short body, 2 little short arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4 and 5 feet tall and was grayish colored. This man, when he saw this, he freaked out. He went right back into the house and he got his pistol, his 22 caliber pistol, and he walked back outside and he started shooting. Now, this man is not one to miss. He's a very well-trained marksman, sharpshooter.
Is this thing like moving fast or walk it like at a normal pace like a human?
This thing is hopping, not moving.
Hopping.
Fast hopping. It can clear about 25 feet in one hop, as you'll see. He grabs his gun and his flashlight. He kicks open the door, expecting to see that monster there. Doesn't see it. Where did this damn thing go? What is it? Something I've never damn seen before. It's pitch black. He's pointing his flashlight. All of a sudden, a beam of that flashlight comes into contact with this monster's eyes, and they turn pink. And he immediately drops that flashlight, and he starts firing. Bow, 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 bow. The first shot hits this thing. This is an artist's rendition of what this thing looks like. Has anyone heard this story? This is the Enfield monster.
That doesn't really look like a human to me.
I never said it was a human. What are you talking about?
No, you said it was like had some human-like features.
Oh, it has legs.
Oh, well.
No, that's what he said. I mean, it has like teeth and shit. I don't know.
He's scary looking. He's real scary. Eyes like flashlights, though. I have not heard this. Actually, when you first said Enfield, I thought of
Outfield.
No, Enfield. Well,
yeah, but you said you thought of Outfield.
But I also was trying to remember what was the name of the town in Murdered by Town.
Did this guy, Henry McDaniel, really see this? I mean, his children were visibly scared. He himself was shaken when the police came. I mean, what was it?
Well, when you said that this was called the Devil's Kitchen in the town, does that mean that there were other sightings of this creature?
There's been skinwalkers, yes. Not specifically of this creature, but of another one called the chupacabra.
Brandon and Martin, haven't you been asking about this?
So that one does
Martin
appear.
has.
This is also Bigfoot country as well. Lots of stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Let's see if there's any validity to this claim. The Enfield monster. And I will say I'm more unbiased than I used to be. Before I would call bullshit. I would look for any sort of scientific evidence. And if there's none, just maybe he's making it up. But like I said, lately I've been different. I really do think that there's things that we can't explain. And I was listening to this one author talk about this. He said that we purposely look at Native American folklore and the drawings on the caves and all their crazy stories, and we downplay it. Oh, that's just some kind of animism. They're putting things there that aren't there. They're blaming spirits and animals for things that happen just naturally. And I don't really think that's true anymore. I think there's a lot of wisdom in those old Native stories. And I believe instead of just bypassing them and, they're just old ancestors, have nothing to do but look at the stars, so they just write on caves. I think we should go into the mindset that they aren't just some dumb ancestors, and maybe they were writing about what they saw, If they call it the devil's country, then shit. You better take them at their word, because guess what? They've been here a lot longer than you have, They've been here a lot longer than the white man. So I think there is wisdom. I don't think a tribe would make this stuff up. No, I'm not. Now, stories are made, a lot of them,
symbolism type thing,
to teach children.
Yeah.
I get that, but
parables and whatnot.
But also, I believe there's real
there's something.
Stories. Anyway, so Henry McDaniel, he shines that light, and as soon as those photons from that flashlight pierce this monster's eyes, they start to glow up like they were just getting filled with this light. And like flashlights, boom, like beacons, 2 beacons in the night sky, just lighting up. He doesn't need his flashlight anymore. And plus he's scared.
The eyes are freaking flashlights.
Yeah, exactly. Plus he's scared shitless. So he drops his flashlight. He picks up that revolver and he starts shooting. Bow, bow, bow. The first shot hits him. This monster's so fast. It's hopping away quick.
I saw those pink eyes shine at me like a reflector on a car. It had pink eyes, a large head, and was kind of dirtyish gray color, hair scary, about 4 or 5 feet tall, standing in front of the door on 3 legs, just like a human being. Huh.
That was from the paper. I was going to make that like a funny because human beings don't have 3 legs. Well, I have a stump. He says, when I fired that first shot, I know I hit it. The creature gave out a hiss, much like a wildcat's, judging from the sound. A wildcat's hiss.
It just hissed. Did you ever hear a cottonmouth hiss? Well, that's how it sounded. And it jumped into those weeds over there. And then it jumped again over that ditch and then a third time onto the tracks. I never did see it turn. It just jumped.
Well, that's how it sounded. It jumped into those weeds right over there.
So was this a typo about the 3rd leg situation? Or did he actually have 3 legs?
No, it does have 3 legs.
Oh, it wasn't a typo.
No, it does have 3 legs.
But just not like a human.
Tripedal. Yes. Well, so the newspaper made it sound weird, but it's standing on the doorstep like a human. But they also put in, I will tell you the reason they're doing this is because they're trying to make them sound like a crackpot. And you're going to see why here in a second. The thing does have 3 legs. That is also shown by the tracks that were visibly there.
Got it.
And have been plastered, the tracks to get the tracks up. And then it jumped again over that ditch. And then a 3rd time right onto those railroad tracks. I never did see it turned. It just jumped.
From the Daily Chronicle on March 14th, 1974, then Henry jumped the ditch and got on the tracks and shined his light. By the time Henry had gone about 80 feet, the thing had gone bootin' and scootin' a good 440 yards to where the tracks curved.
Bootin' and scootin'. The state troopers arrived to find no monster, but they didn't discredit his story just yet. The discredit only comes when the town is flooded with newspapermen all over the country, and all these families, these simple farmers, these simple life, they're getting bombarded with all this wild theories and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, these are simple people. The town now has less than it did. I was reading at the time, it had 700 about in this time, 1956. Now it's down to 500.
Our people are afraid.
There are not a lot of people that live in this town. So when this happens, it brings national spotlight, and that makes people uncomfortable. But no monster was found when the state troopers got there, but they did see some strange looking tracks on the soft earth, much like dog paws. Dog paws have 5 pads on the bottom. You have 4 for the fingers, boom, 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 boom. And then you got 1 for the paw. Those are pads. They look like little rubber pads. Huh. This thing had 6 toe pads. So it couldn't have been a dog. Now, keep in mind, you have 3 sets of tracks here for 3 different feet. So there's a back leg, the 3rd leg. So it's almost triangle shaped, the pattern of these tracks. And they have 6 pads each. So 5 on the front and then the paw. State Trooper James Master was called to the scene, and he gets there at 9:30 p.m. He says that McDaniel was, quote, shaking with fear. And Ed Phillips came down. He was a small pet shop owner, and he's the one that came down and did the plaster on the tracks, made plaster cast. He said, quote, the tracks were hidden under the dense bush as well as in the open. He's trying to go out to bat for this guy because he believes his story. This is what McDaniel would tell the newspaper.
The creature, he said, bounded away, covering 50 feet in 3 jumps. It fled through some brush along a railroad embankment that runs near the McDaniel home. State police said that McDaniel appeared rational and sober.
That right there is important. The state police said that he appeared rational and sober. In my mind, they're almost downplaying. I'll tell you right now, no one in the law enforcement in this part believes his story whatsoever. I don't know if they don't believe it or if they're just tired of the media. But
because apparently this happens a lot, or enough that it's a thing.
The police come down, and the sheriff, the White County Sheriff, Roy Poshard Jr., said, ain't a damn thing to it. He doesn't believe them at all. He doesn't like all these out-of-towners coming into his small town here. Eventually, the sheriff will even claim that it's a kangaroo. That's the closest thing you saw. You didn't see a monster. You saw a kangaroo. A kangaroo.
Sure, that's casual in the cornfields of Illinois.
Well, it could have been a pet kangaroo. The reason they're thinking it's a kangaroo is because it had 3 legs.
Yeah, kangaroo. The tail, they're confusing the tail, you think?
The kangaroo uses its tail like a leg. It can support its whole weight on its tail. So they're thinking it's a kangaroo. Plus, the way it's moving, this thing hops. A kangaroo can hop 25 feet at a time. That is a large distance. This thing can equally hop that same amount as shown from the tracks, because you have a set of tracks. You only have like a couple tracks, right? Because the hopping distance, it goes from 3 tracks here, and then 25 feet later there's some more tracks. It's hopping. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: Henry McDaniel, he's been to Australia. He served in the army there. He even had a pet kangaroo, because in the army bases they would have these kangaroos just kind of hanging out. So he had one as a pet. And plus, you're going to tell this man, this farmer, this veteran, and his 2 kids, what you saw didn't really exist. It's a kangaroo. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Anyway, McDaniel would say, if they do find it, by golly, they will find more than one. They won't be from this planet. I can tell you that. What do you think of this so far? Do you believe it or not?
I don't know. I mean, he's a credible witness, but
why would he make this up? All right,
I don't know. Some people want to play pranks, maybe.
Let me take it this one route right quick. This specific case made it into the psychology and sociology groups. A critical examination of the social contagion image of collective behavior, the case of the Enfield monster. This is a whole document written by these PhDs that basically, in a nutshell, says this isn't anything more than mass hysteria. Group think. That's what they're calling it. Group think. And they're not calling it bullshit, but they're basically saying it's a social contagion. They're saying people are seeing it because they want to see it. They're basically calling him a liar. In a nutshell, from these academics, they're saying people are temporarily willing to accept and act upon unverified information because that's the only ones provided. He sees whatever this is, and maybe he's never seen this type of animal, like a kangaroo, for instance. If you're in Illinois, why would you ever see a kangaroo? This is in 1956. You've probably never seen one in your life. So you think it's a monster from outer space, and it's really just kangaroo. But then again, like you said, a kangaroo in fucking Illinois. Come on, man.
No way.
It deals with tensions inside the individuals, this report says. Basically, the greater tension you have, the more likely you are to buy something, a certain belief. And like Pizzagate is a perfect example, right?
Yep.
If you think so hard that this has got to be something from outer space, your mind is going to make it that, and you're going to be more willing to accept that. And then the people around you who trust you are going to automatically accept that too, because why would you lie, and there's nothing else to explain it. Why has it got 3 legs? You know what I'm saying? Because they've never seen kangaroos either.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. The Enfield monster sightings evidence classic features of social contagion, unverified and unusual sensory experiences, mobilization processes, and mass preoccupations. They're basically saying this guy didn't see what he saw. All right. I think it's total bullshit. I think all that is just academic horse shit. They weren't there. But let's move on. A lot of people didn't believe him. The Echo Cafe and Motel down the street, the waitress doubts his story. I think it's all about over now. Anyway, I heard the sheriff tell him that he better not be seeing any more damn monsters out there, or he'd be off to the funny farm. The White County Sheriff, Sheriff Roy Poshard Jr. said, ain't a damn thing to it. I let all that stuff go until he got people out there with guns. Then I went and told him, if I hear any more from you out there, I'm hauling you in. And the sheriff was serious too. He was arresting these monster hunters and fining them for hunting violations. 5 men with guns were found in the woods a few days after, quote, drunk as skunks, saying they had just encountered the monster and was about to, quote, blow it back to Mars before the sheriff's car light scared it off.
Back to Mars. I love that.
This is the sheriff. No monster hunting allowed. This is the creature.
My God.
That's a better representation of the creature.
So? Look at all the toes. Look at all his feet.
No monster hunting allowed.
That's funny. I like that.
So does this thing exist?
I don't know.
When that same reporter asked the waitress, what would you do if you did see this monster? Well, I guess we're going to butcher him and eat him. On May 10th, a graduate student in anthropology from the University of Illinois did his own investigation, saying that the monster was more likely to be a wild ape. I mean, what the fuck?
But again, in the cornfields of Illinois. I mean, try again. I get it. Like that's the searching for another logical explanation.
Yeah.
But that's not any better.
That's what I'm saying.
Explanation.
I'm not saying that aliens exist or whatever, but let's look at the native folklore. They have been talking about this thing, the chupacabras, these beings, these skinwalkers, for literal centuries.
Yeah.
Before the white man even came here. Mm-hmm. They have been seeing this and describing it in their lore. And
like this, you know?
Like anything like this. Monsters, stuff like this, things they can't explain. They've been describing this. We push it off as bullshit.
Or the assumption is it's just an animal.
And then push it off as some kind of social contagion, you know?
Yeah.
It's literally, all right, if you don't buy this social contagion thing, there are sightings. I know there's a Netflix documentary where an entire school sees a UFO, an entire class, like literally is like 150 people or something are outside. They see a UFO and then the academics say it's mass hysteria. Come on. You might as well call all those people fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It ain't fucking mass hysteria. That's so fucking stupid. I think that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. They saw what they saw, fucking dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because you have some kind of fucking degree doesn't mean you were there. Because I can swear to you, if you were there, you would not be saying it's mass hysteria.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did have some support, though. A radio station, WWKI, dispatched its news director, Rick Rainbow. Rick Rainbow. We're on with Rainbow in the morning. It's Rainbow. Rainbow.
I feel like that deserves an ovation. Oh man, that was great.
This is blowing up at this point.
Brandon goes, damn, John lost it. Oh, hey, Jen. What up, girl?
What's up, Jen?
Oh, man, that's awesome.
At this point, the whole country is enthralled with this story, this Enfield monster story. Oh, my God. They're sending reporters even from Chicago, the Times, the Daily Post, the Daily Mail. All these big reporters are coming in from Life magazine, Time magazine, all of these. And they're trying.
The sheriff don't like that.
The sheriff hates it because they come in here, they goddamn come in here with their damn hats and their coats and their fucking, they fucking smarter than me. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Ed Gein story when all the newsmen came in and they were getting out of their vans in the pastures, right? In the pastures, they would step out of their van into cow shit because there's no parking spots in fucking the rural plain field. It's never in its history had hundreds of news vans.
Yeah.
But yet here they are stepping in cow shit, getting cow shit all over their pants legs,
Yeah.
Rick Rainbow, Dispatch news director, he doesn't believe it at first, but he starts interviewing other people in that area, and he said 3 others had, quote, seen something that is, shall we say, strange.
A lot of things could fall into that category.
Yeah.
He reports that Greg Garrett, 10, who lives just Sorry, we're going with the 10-year-old. Hang on. He reports that Greg Garrett, 10, who lives just behind McDaniel, sighted the monster a half hour before McDaniel on April 25th. Rainbow said the boy had been in the backyard and ran into his house nearly hysterical. Something had stepped on his feet and torn his tennis shoes to shreds. That's pretty crazy.
I gotta say, the boy eventually did recant the statement, but he's a 10-year-old boy. Why would he make this up? He said he was trying to tease his neighbor. What 10-year-old boy wants to maliciously tease a 50-year-old man? He said he wanted new shoes. That's why he did this.
I mean, a 10-year-old's not exactly credible. It doesn't help the other guy's story.
I know, but dude, I cannot see a 10-year-old trying to maliciously tease a 50-year-old.
He literally then said he wanted new sneakers. He was like, I want some Nikes, yo.
I don't know. Anyway, so let's just throw that confession out. At this point, locals were arming themselves to the brim. They even constructed a, quote, monster pen. Rick Rainbow and Rick in the morning. Rick, it's Rick Rainbow. Rick Rainbow. I feel like I gotta do that every time.
Oh my God. That was great.
Rick got a cameraman, a University of Illinois student, to go down with him, and they had a camera and audio equipment, and he actually sees something. This was the day after. They weren't going to start filming until later that night. Now, this is also a credible witness, a highly respected newsman. And him and his cameraman see something. Now, the camera wasn't on at the time because the batteries were so short-lived. They were waiting till night so they can see something. But in the middle of the day, they see something. They see an ape-like object behind a little storage shed. They run over there chasing it as the cameraman puts on the camera, and then it's not there anymore. But both of them swear that they've seen it. They saw it. Now, they didn't describe it exactly as Henry McDaniel. They didn't even say that they saw the same thing. He said he saw some three-legged gray thing. This guy is saying that he saw an ape-like object, a Bigfoot sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Now, this is before Bigfoot was popular at all. Like, no one talked about Bigfoot. Bigfoot wasn't a thing. They would have used the word Bigfoot.
Okay.
He saw this ape-like object skirting behind a storage shed, and they didn't get the camera up, and they chased it. They started to chase this thing. They had the audio going, and the audio has never been released. Some paranormal guy possesses the audio, but it's a mix that sounds like a woman screaming and a crying baby mixed together. That's the way they described it. It was an awful sound. It was a kind of howling sound.
Painful. From the Dispatch, July 28th, 1973, Rainbow says that he also saw what he thought was the monster in an open end of an abandoned shed near Springerton, north of Enfield. He said it was 5 to 5.5 feet tall and was gray-black in color.
He has no reason to make this up. Henry McDaniel and his sons have no reason to make this up. Let's go back to the Vegas sightings. Remember that family who does not want media attention? They were a Mexican family. They said something landed in their backyard literally minutes or seconds after police body cam footage catches something descending from the sky, some green-like object, and crashing in their general location. They say not even a minute later, they're calling 911 saying that they're staring at an 8-foot creature, and now they're recanting their statement. It makes you put doubt on the recantation. They don't want the media attention because the media is brutal. People are brutal.
Yeah, they think
it's not
crazy.
Just the media. Like the media puts it out, and then this guy, Henry McDaniel, is now getting hundreds of phone calls. A lot of them are threatening. Go kill yourself. You should go fucking kill yourself. Or what? You know, people are shit, right? They don't want that. This guy's a veteran, 50-year-old veteran, and a single dad. You didn't want that shit. Anyway, what are you thinking so far? This is fake or real or?
I feel like some people are feeding into the hysteria and making stuff up, but I think some of it, people think they genuinely saw something, or people genuinely saw something.
A second sighting. The following Sunday, the dogs started barking at Henry's house. He walks outside, and lo and behold, right there on the railroad tracks is that damn same monster. It's 3 a.m., about 75 feet away from the Dixon Evening Telegraph, May 7th, 1973. I seen something moving on them railroad tracks, and there it stood. I didn't shoot at it or anything. It started down the railroad track. It wasn't in a hurry or nothing. He also got a call from a, quote, government representative. This is before the Men in Black and all that shit. And they told him that there's been similar occurrences ever since 1967. That's the Enfield monster.
I don't know. I mean, are people still seeing things?
They're seeing more of the chupacabras, which is a different animal sort of thing. Here, how do you spell chupacabra? So this is, it's very similar though. So this is a chupacabra. So it might be the same thing. I mean, it is very similar. It
looks a lot like the first photo.
Yeah.
Or the first, not photo, but you know what I mean.
So that's the chupacabra. It's probably the same thing, man. If I was And this is something the Native Americans have been talking about forever. Look at this bad boy. Imagine seeing that shit.
I mean, that looks a little bit more animal-like, though.
Here's one right here.
That looks a lot like the first one, too.
Yeah. So, the Enfield monster may just be a chupacabra, but still, I don't want to discount this guy because he has.
But a chupacabra.
Oh shit! Look at this. Possible chupacabra
is a not a real creature technically.
No, it's like a skinwalker.
Yeah.
It's a skinwalker. Check this out. This is a sighting of a chupacabra. Did I not get this on there? Kind of looks like a dog. I don't know.
Yeah. So in Britannica, about like the legend of the chupacabra, in Latin American popular legend, monstrous creature that attacks animals and consumes their blood.
Look at this thing. It's a weird deer-looking thing.
I don't know if that's if that's it though. I don't know. Early reports described a creature that stood upright and resembled a large reptilian kangaroo with huge red eyes.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm thinking there may be stuff we just can't explain, dude.
I don't know.
But I don't think we should discount it just because social contagion. You know what? They're fucked up. You know what? People with those degrees make me fucking sick. You know what I'm saying? Mass hysteria. You know what? Go fuck yourself.
They trying to say he crazy, but in a kind of nice but condescending way, you know?
Yeah, but he ain't crazy.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying.
Like, he has no reason to make that shit up.
I do not know.
I mean, you saw his screen. You think he did that? You think he freaking killed or destroyed his screen?
I mean, it's a screen. It's not like it would be that hard to.
But why?
To hurt.
Why would he do that?
I'm
and his kids were. That means he's got to be like, all right, kids, we're gonna play a joke. We're gonna play a joke tonight. It's a random Wednesday night. I want you guys to be scared as fuck when the sheriff gets here. I'm gonna rip the screen up a little bit and shoot a couple bullets up in that tree there. We're gonna put some fake tracks on here that are just so weird, right? I mean, come on, man.
I know.
That sounds more fanatical to me than anything else.
It's pretty wild. I'm glad we did this story because I have always been kind of curious about the chupacabra from, Brandon's comments.
This is a chupacabra from what'sfappening.com.
Wolfie says, local contagion smells a lot like government cover-up.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think, man?
That's crazy. Wilding
out. But I hope you guys like that. We're doing these little stories, and then we do the big ones when Jen gets here. I got a good one this week. You're going to hate it, but it has to be done. I kind of gave you a little hint.
You did. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Not.
So anyway, that's all I got. And well, until next time, thanks everyone. I'm Rick Rainbow signing off. Rick Rainbow. We'll be back tomorrow.
I kind of run this shit.